with Tru You Training and Coaching, and I'm excited to be here with Francesca Ordona Hollingsworth. And today we're going to talk about COVID-19, how you can direct your energy in these trying times. And so, why are we having this conversation, Francesca?
Well, first of all, thank you, Stacy, for opening this conversation on COVID-19. So the reason to talk about COVID-19 is, well, COVID-19 puts fear in your space. And one of the ways to alleviate fear is to discuss it, but to discuss it from not the fear that is behind it, is to find out the why, so that when you know the why, you can calm down and be more realistic about where you want to go in the future with that. So
Right.
That's pretty much why we're talking about COVID-19, to eliminate and get rid of the fear.
Right. So for people that are watching this, Francesca and I have been kind of working together and partnering in a lot of different ways. And last year, probably towards the fall time, we had this discussion. She was talking to me about looking at astrology, and she's going to introduce herself and let us know what she does and that type of thing, and why she's talking about this, right? But last year, we had a conversation. She goes, something big is going to happen in 2020. And I was like, okay, right, we're having this conversation. She's like, I don't want to scare you. I remember you saying that, but you know, that there's going to be some big stuff happening. And so I think it's important that you share, what did you see in astrology and other areas that you saw this coming? I think that's important that you share that, because this is not the first time that this has shown up in astrology. And so it's repeating itself in some way. So Francesca, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell everyone about what you do, and what you saw last year, that this, pandemic was coming, not specifically that, but you knew something big was coming. So if you could share that, that'd be great.
Okay, great. So I'm an inner beauty healer. My business is called innerbeautyhealing.us, not .com. And I help heal the emotional wounds that block you from your prosperity in the area of business, personal growth, and presence. And I do it with the divination arts of astrology, numerology, human design, the I Ching, and the gene keys. So it actually began before last year. The really big clue started in 2018. And actually it was April 15th and May 15th that a predictable event happened in the skies, which was Uranus entered into Taurus. Why this is important is that Uranus is the planet of breakthrough. So I'm going to stop there and just explain to you what's going on with the planets, so you get a groundedness as to why these things work. So Uranus is a big planet. It's rotating high velocities. It's sending off vibrations that hit us here on Earth. And you know what the sun vibration feels like. Well, Uranus sends its own, and it's a specific signature. Its signature is to say, it is time to break through and get rid of what you don't want, toss it out, and change the atmosphere. So I kind of thought, yeah, in some ways, Uranus is the interior decorator that's coming knocking on your door and saying, get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this. And when any time a planet, it enters a sign, a set of constellations, this is a group of stars. In this one, it's Taurus. Taurus has the signature of what you value, what you love, and money. So when it entered it was giving the information, Taurus, I'm going to get rid of all the things that are not helping you. So I'm going to make you pay attention really strongly to what you love. And if you don't love it, it's going away. And I'm going to make you look at very strongly what it is that you have, and is it helping, and how money is working for you. That happened in April and May 2018. Now, the last time this kind of thing happened, this was the Civil War. It was the Revolutionary War, and it also was it was when the FEC created Social Security. So this is huge. When you look at it, you go, oh, this pattern, this is a big game changer. Now, coming down the pipeline was another one that hit actually on January 12th, 2020. And this was the big event. It's the big game changer, which is Pluto. This is the planet of power and transformation and life and death. And it is the group conscious, group responsibility planet. The next planet that is important is Saturn. And Saturn is, I call it the law enforcer. Basically, you break the rules, I'm gonna come and make you do it, make you follow. I've had it. And it is the timekeeper, it is also karma. So those two met together exactly on January 12th, but that's not the only planet that was there. It was also Mercury. So Mercury is the planet of the mind. So the mental mind was going to go through a global change and transformation. And it was going to happen regardless of whether you liked it or not. And then the sun was there too. So this is all about the outer self, the ego. And the last time something similar, kind of like this, was 500 years ago when Martin Luther left the church and started the Protestant direction. Mm-hmm. And so what happened with that is that was a huge game changer in the area of spirit. So with those two things lining up, it meant that so the other time, the more recent time when something kind of like the Pluto Saturn met was the beginning of World War I, actually when the Tsar signed one of his, that he went to war. So that being said, you could see that there was this huge buildup. And not only that, we, the people, were saying something's wrong, that the world is out of balance, that we've got to fix ourselves. And when we, the people, are saying that, and the planets are setting themselves up, you're going, oh, this is going to be huge. I don't know what it is, but what I can say is that we are going to go through a powerful redistribution of global power. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
what's the purpose of COVID-19 then?
It's to change us, and it's to change us in a way that we need. So one of the messages we've been sending out is we have global warming. Global warming has to do with cars. How in the hell are you going to get all the cars off the street? How in the shelter in place? I mean, we were actually forced to remove ourselves from the street. I honestly think this is a genius way the universe has conspired to help us change what is most difficult for us. It's kind of like, sometimes you go on a diet and you go, oh, I'm not going to eat this, but you need that accountability partner to help you. Well, we got the universe coming in and really enforcing it. So when you view it from that perspective, you can look at why the blessings behind COVID-19. And that is really the secret to all of this, is to not see COVID as the enemy and understand it is here to help us change and transform in something in the direction that we really wanted to.
So, and I think a lot of people see that. However, there are thousands of people that have passed away, and that is tragic. I mean, it can be so painful and tragic for so many people and families. And so there's a lot of different emotions from people that, okay, yes, I see this can be a positive. It's a slow down, take time to look at what's important, all of those things. And yet some people are being tragically, affected emotionally because of the loss of their loved ones. And so what is your thought on that? How would you help people in that space?
Okay. So first of all, the thing is, one of the biggest things we fear in the global consciousness is death. And the one thing in life we are certain about is death. There's nothing else more certain than death. Mm-hmm. I know there's the saying taxes and death, but the government just likes to say that to put fear. But in reality, it's only death that we are absolutely certain we will come to. And it's because we just don't know what that is. And it means the end. But I'm here to tell you, it is not the end. What death really is, it's a transformation. It's a transcendence into another space and time. And the thing is that why we die is the body, our physical body cannot actually do that transformation. And the reason I can tell you that is because I have seen the other side. And when you see the other side, it is amazing. It is so beautiful. But the realization is that you cannot, in this physical form, carry that. So for the person that's transcending into death, it's a great thing. It's a big celebration. You should actually be happy because they're moving on. Where the sadness really is for us who are here, left. And that's really what is the sad thing is you say, I'm sorry for your loss, which is true. You have lost something. You don't get to engage with that person. But you need to grieve that. But it is about celebrating them. And in many, many cultures, this is how they approached death. But we now, for some bizarre reason, think we've gotten out of touch with the reality of what it is. And yes, if we didn't ever get to be sad, we actually wouldn't really know what happy is. Sometimes you just need to go to the other side to get there. So what I have to say is, yes, this is their process. Bless them for their process. They have actually given us an experience because we witness their process, but it is not for us to fear that. It is not for us to take on their suffering. And that's what we have a tendency to do because somebody tells you a story, you think that may be your story, and so you believe it's your story, and then you get into the worry of maybe that story is going to happen to me, but it hasn't. And so what happens is when you put yourself in a space like that, you actually wear out your life force because it's running at a high level and it's running nowhere. And so that's what we have sort of like coming into terms with it. And that's one of the blessings of COVID-19 is that we are getting to learn that. We're getting to look at death up close and personal, which is something we really need to do because we've kind of gotten out of touch with that.
Right. So how do we direct our energy to help ourselves? I mean, is it the same for everyone? Would it be different with someone that's lost someone? I guess, how do you help people direct their focus, their energy right now for us all to be okay?
So the easy one is the planets. The way the planets are positioned in the signature they sent us is the theme. So if you align with the theme, you align with the music, and you can move to it. Now, you yourself are unique, and so you have your own pattern. But regardless of that pattern, as long as you kind of know, it's kind of like somebody opened the book at the song, and you're singing the song in tune. So there are two main signatures that you really want to work with. One is, and stay out of crazy. The reason I say that is because the way the gate, and this is in Gene Keys, the gate in which all those planets were in was the gate of psychosis, duality or division, and crazy. So if you look outside, you can see why people are kind of crazy. And how you stay out of crazy is you honestly, on the inside, you can feel it. So I say, for me, it's kind of like when you put your finger into an electrical socket, it kind of just fries you. Well,
Right.
you sort of know how that feels. So you actually do know what crazy is. So when you get there, you can, if you run across it, you can step back. And the way you step back is go, what inspires me? You look at your inside self, see what it is that makes you inspired, wants to move forward, and what are your gifts. And when you can connect to that, the crazy just kind of like gets pushed away. And so that's it. Stay out of crazy, move towards your inspiration. The second thing is about altruism. So why I say this is the biggest signature, it's a huge theme, is where Uranus is sitting, and has been sitting for this whole year and last year, and it's not accident. I mean, this planet keeps going back and forth the same place.
Uh-huh.
And it is altruism, which is the good for the whole. It's also the giving without expectation of receiving. This is from giving from the heart. And this is really like the big message we're getting from COVID-19. It's letting us give from the heart. So if for whatever you're doing, if you can say, is it good for me? Is it good for the whole? Then you can move forward if you get yes. And
Right.
that's the easiest way you can direct yourself regardless of whatever is going on.
Yeah. So what I see so much right now, as we, it was shock, right? And stayed home and trying to adjust. And now it's like, okay, now what's happening? Are we going to open up, with the shelter in place, and the anger of let us go because of this limitation on everyone, right? And it just seems like kind of it's imploding. Just everybody on social media and the news and politics. And so how can people handle that? I mean, and there's so many different viewpoints, right? I was just looking at one post where some people were like, yes, they're doing the right thing. No, they're not. And it was just like this. How can we handle that? Like, what do you see? I guess looking at what's happening, where do you see this year playing out, and how do we flow with that, I guess, is the question.
So this year is about bringing all the muck up to the top and getting to look at it and discarding what doesn't work. So it's necessary for us to see all those things. But what's really important is you and how you are. So the strength is really from your center, and it's about knowing who you are. So there's tons of opinions, but is that your opinion? That's all you really need to know about, is whether it's your opinion. Mm-hmm. And you can believe, you might say it's a belief you have, but unless you check really closely, you may not know if it's your opinion or because someone else said it. So it is about staying out of opinion and discerning what is yours and what is not, and being responsible for what is yours and what is not. And when you can do that, then all the other stuff starts like disappearing. It's like they become less important. It's sort of like when you find your gift, you get very centered on it, and everything else sort of, it's there, but it's not bothering you. And when you can do that, then it doesn't matter, honestly, when we open, when we don't open, because honestly, it's going to be the universe that makes the line. It's not our choice. That's really it. And we think we can control it, but we're not in control. So you might as well go with the flow. I mean, who knew about COVID-19 was going to suddenly like bloom like this? But
Yeah.
so it's really only that.
So, okay, so that makes sense. So it's really going back to who you are and going inward and not going to that crazy place, because that looking at all that can get you to the crazy place. So it's recentering and focusing on your stuff, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with you, right?
It's all about you.
So that is what you're saying for the rest of the year, is that go with the flow. Is it going to go up and down?
All of life. If you really want to live a prosperity, meaning not just money, but well-being, right, and relationships, then that is the way it is, because you know, there's no point of making up what hasn't happened yet.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you don't use your knowledge and logic, but it means you don't deal with the problem unless it is a problem. But you don't, and it makes, then you have more ease and flow with your life, and you're not as affected by what is going around.
Yeah. What I love the saying that when emotions are high, intelligence is low, right? And when you get emotional, it's like you don't really see clearly. You can't direct your focus to where it's going to be a benefit. And so that's where I'm seeing this just constant emotion up and down. I think some people are stabilizing, yet some people are just, I think, just like to be in that, I don't know, that drama.
We're addicted to drama. We actually think that drama is the way we are supposed to live. And to some degree, we're being taught that by what we see on TV, but you know, we have a choice. You have a choice whether you want to enter into the drama or not. And
absolutely.
So, you know, and that's really what COVID-19 is helping us. It's helping us to bring drama and calm on the same platform, and getting us to really get it connected with self. It is all about connecting to self, ultimately.
Right. And that's why we're kind of slowing down. I think people are having a hard time now. What do I do? You know, so then it's making people go inward, right? Instead of that busy, going all the time. So Francesca, if people want to continue to follow you to get your support, how can they do that?
Oh, that's great. I would suggest you go to my website at innerbeautyhealing.us and register for my free crystal membership. What you get with that is you'll get my newsletter that comes out twice a month with my blog, and my podcast. And they are specifically designed to help you transform your energy from grace. And then I also, with my sister, Reverend Dr. Trinity, on the new and full moon, we are offering for free, in the spirit of altruism, to give without expectation of receipt, the healing modalities to help you personally through this COVID-19. You can register that on our site, on our COVID-19 page, and just do it 24 hours ahead so that I have enough time to get that the contact information out to you. And then I also do one-on-one sessions. So if you're interested in doing a one-on-one session, I have that on my astronumerology page. You can, and my recommendation now is to do the 45-minute at your complete story astronumerology session, and right now it's 50% off due to COVID-19, and it's for a limited time only. So I would hope you would take me on that discount. That would be really, really great. And what that does for you is it helps you understand you better, which is what we're here for. And
Right.
last but not least, I want just to give you seed my future podcast, Inner Beauty Talks. So that's where I'll interview experts and find out what the inner beauty is talking about in their area. So that's how
Awesome.
you can connect with me.
Yeah, I've personally worked with Francesca myself, where she did my chart, my astrology chart, but also talked about what's going on right now for my chart, in the planets that I'm in when I was born. And it was very, very helpful to help me get clarity on exactly where to focus, what's happening in my life and my business. So I really, I thank you, Francesca, because it just gives you that, okay, breathing room to go, okay, I'm on the right path, and it gives you direction on where to go from here. So really, it's a great thing to do with Francesca, as well as it's a great investment in your life and your business if you're wanting that direction. So I hope this conversation was helpful for everyone. I think it gives everybody just kind of a better perspective on what's happening and why. There's got to be a why to it. And so thank you for sharing that with us today, Francesca. I appreciate it. Anything else that you want to say before we finish up?
Other than thank you, Stacy, for giving me the opportunity to have this conversation. And
Sure.
I do want to say this is for the long run. Just so you know, this is a global change, and global changes take time. And so be patient. And the reason you want to take time is because it's all about you and your blessings and how you bring your gifts forward into this world. So, and have tons of fun doing that, because gosh, that's what life's for, having fun, even through the sorrow part. So
Right. Appreciate that. Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching. And
thank you.
please check in with Francesca on all of her support that she's bringing us. Thank you.